Hey, what's up people, hope you all are having a great day. Today in this video we will be upgrading my graphics card and overclocking it and benchmarking the GPU to see the difference between stock and overclocked performance in games and other softwares. Hope you will have a great time while watching the video. So like or dislike the video and comment your thoughts in comment section so YouTube can recommend my videos to the other people. So without wasting time, let's get started. Before moving on, let us give a tribute to our legendary GT 710, which is still holding our hand and supporting us in this hard time, where all the new budget segment graphics cards are overpriced. Let's give a tribute by remembering the good old days of GT 710. So let's start the video by unboxing the graphics card. I chose Colorful's iGame RTX 3060 Ultra Wide OC LHR edition. In this box, you get one user manual and one graphics card. This GPU is from Colorful iGame series. iGame series is the premium segment in Colorful brand. As per the specification, it has two large fans at right and left and one medium sized fan at middle. It has one HDMI and 3 display ports. It has 16x PCIe Gen 4 lane. It has 8+8 PCIe power connector and it draws up to 170 watts. It has huge heat sink for heat dissipation. The overall weight of this graphics card is 800 grams. It has an instant overclock button near the display port to overclock or to push the GPU limit for more performance. It has a plastic back for some good look. I chose the white color even though my whole PC is in black because it looks popped up or eye-catchy. Secondly, it looks great when installed. It has RGB logo in front which can be controlled using iGame Center application. The GPU has 3584 CUDA cores, 12GB of DDR6 VRAM, 192-bit of memory bus, 12 billion transistors, 112 tensor cores, 28 RT or ray tracing cores. Now let us move to installation and overclock process. Before installing the new graphics card, I downloaded Display Driver Uninstall or DDU and RTX 3060 drivers from the NVIDIA's website. After downloading, I restarted my PC and booted into safe mode. To boot into safe mode, press and hold the shift button and click on restart. You will get to know you are in safe mode if you see safe mode mentioned at the corner of your display. After getting into safe mode, run DDU or Display Driver Uninstaller. After running DDU, it will prompt a message. Just press OK. After that, a option window will pop up. Let general options stay as it is, and if you have a AMD CPU, then uncheck all AMD specific option. After that, choose the uninstall type as GPU and NVIDIA or AMD depending upon the previous GPU you were using. I was using GT 710, so I choose NVIDIA. After that, I choose the clean and shutdown option as I am upgrading or installing new graphics card. After that, I removed the GT 710 and bottom fan and cleaned the PC using plastic brush and a blower. And installed the RTX 3060. and rerouted the 8+8 power pin for neater look and covered the remaining 8+8 pin using sellotape to prevent from the dust getting inside it. After that, I closed the cabinet and turned the PC on. And install the latest drivers of RTX 3060. And restarted the PC and changed the display refresh rate from 60 to 144 Hz. After that, I swapped from HDMI to DisplayPort. As I am not using the instant OC button or overclock button provided in the graphics card, so I overclocked my GPU manually using MSI Afterburner and Heaven Benchmark. First, I ran Heaven Benchmark at the maximum or ultra setting. And started the overclock process by increasing the core clock by 20 and memory clock by 500. After every increment, I waited for 2 to 3 minutes to see if the overclock is stable or not. If it was unstable, it will automatically restart the PC and removes the overclock settings I applied.
Approximately 10 hours later.
So after overclocking the memory clock to 1500 MHz and core clock to 200 MHz, I ran FIRESTRIKE, the software that literally burns your graphics card, as you can see in the image. The reason I ran FIRESTRIKE because Heaven Benchmark utilizes DirectX 11, which is not so intensive on graphics card, and FIRESTRIKE utilizes DirectX 12 Ultimate, which is the latest DirectX version. After running FIRESTRIKE for 25 to 30 minutes, it crashed, so I lowered the core clock by 10 MHz and memory clock by 100 MHz. And after testing and lowering the core clock and memory clock, it was finally stable at 180 MHz on core clock and 1400 MHz on memory. Here are some software benchmarks showing the difference in stock and overclocked performance. In 3D Mark at stock, we got 8606 points. After overclocking, we got 9185 points. We got 600 point jump after the overclock. Now moving on to the games benchmark. Note, all games are benchmarked using 1080p on maximum possible settings. Only motion blur and VSync was disabled. As my monitor is 1080p, so many games were not showing 1440p or 2K or 2160p 4K settings. And I'll mention only average frame rates, and you can see minimum and maximum FPS on the graph displaying on your screen. And for 1% and 0.1% loss frame, I'll leave the link to the benchmark file. The first game is Apex Legends.
It's calling.
In stock, we got average FPS of 128 and in overclock, we got average FPS of 137.
Tell Death I said hello. So that clears things up. This is mine.
Yours? If it wasn't for
The second game is BLOODHUNT. In stock settings, the average FPS was 166 FPS and in overclock, average FPS was 175. The third game is World War II. In stock, the average frame rate is 142.9 FPS and in overclock, the average frame rate is 151.2 FPS.
We cannot. We must not fail.
Duty first.
Perez! Won't be enough for you!
The fourth game is Call of Duty Warzone. In Warzone, I didn't enable ray tracing and DLSS because no one uses ray tracing in multiplayer game. In stock, the average frame rate is 141 FPS and in overclock, the average frame rate is 121.0 FPS. The fifth game is CSGO. In stock, the average frame rate were 380 FPS. In overclock, the average frame rate is 385.5 FPS. The sixth game is CYBERPUNK. The first preset is no DLSS and no ray tracing. In stock, we got 66 FPS and in overclock, we got 70.1 FPS.
Sky-high rate of violence and more people living below the poverty line than anywhere else.
The second preset is auto DLSS and medium ray tracing. In stock, we achieved 55.1 FPS and in overclock, we achieved an average of 85.6 FPS.
Illusion. But it's there. Just around the corner. And it keeps you going.
The third preset is auto DLSS and ultra ray tracing. In stock, we achieved average frame rate of 51.1 FPS. In overclock, we achieved average FPS of 86.1 FPS. The seventh game is GTA 5.
By my swimming pool.
In stock settings, we got average FPS of 77.2 FPS. In overclocker settings, we got the average frame rate of 78.3 FPS.
Torture me over mistakes I made over a decade ago. You back in the game? I guess. Yes!
The eighth game is PUBG PC. In stock settings, we achieved average frame rate of 152.9 FPS. In overclocker settings, we achieved average frame rate of 143.2 FPS. The ninth game is Valorant. In stock settings, we achieved an average frame rate of 463.1 FPS. In overclocked settings, we achieved an average frame rate of 471.9 FPS.
What's this?
The 10th game is Battlefield 3. In stock settings, we achieved an average frame rate of 154.9 FPS. In overclock, the average FPS is 175.3 FPS.
You want us to believe that there's a PLR threat and Solomon's at the head?
You're the quick reaction force, gentlemen. Trusting you to handle this.
the nuke is still out there. Can't just walk away.
The 11th game is FORTNITE. I don't know why this game was not utilizing 100% of my graphics card. It was utilizing like 70 to 80% but not 99 to 100%. In stock, we achieved an average frame rate of 101.9 FPS. In overclocker settings, we achieved frame rate of 113.9 FPS.
Did you hear that? You got nothing to worry about.
Trust me, I've got the heightened senses of a ninja.
12th and the last game is Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. In stock, we achieved an average FPS of 117.4 FPS. In overclocked settings, the average FPS is 125.9 FPS.
We can't let Trinity get hold of this.
Let's think this through.
After upgrading the GPU, I upgraded my keyboard because first, as my keyboard keycaps were opaque, so it was not visible at night or in dark. Second, as it was a membrane keyboard, the keycaps were used to stuck, especially the enter, backspace and the space key. Third, it was used for my small table, so I upgraded to Cosmic Bytes CBGK 18 Firefly keyboard. It is TKL or 10 keyless keyboard. It is mechanical. It has auto red switches. The reason I chose auto red switches because it is less noisy compared to the blue switches while typing. You can hear the differences between blue and red switches. The keyboard can be upgraded and RGB can be controlled by the software. All the software links and benchmark file links are provided in the description. Building this PC was an amazing journey. If you ever build your first own personal rig, make sure you give more time to it. You will discover many things or options which you won't see in PC building videos. Test and try every new settings with the PC. Like I tried to undervolt my CPU just to reduce some degrees and gain some idea, but it failed. However, I acquired little knowledge about how undervolting works. Hope you learned something new today. Like or dislike the video. Comment your thoughts in comment section so YouTube algorithm can push my videos to the other people. If you don't know, I have a gaming channel known as Geekless where I do live streams of every game and highlights video. And thanks for watching and bye.